Old Nintendo Gamer.
And son.
So, me next, and I'm just going to basically list what I've been playing since we... March 21st was the last podcast since we've been there. Last time I talked about Borderlands 2, finishing all off, bits and pieces. I think I chipped in with a little bit of Link's Awakening as well, which is now complete. And yeah, that's not aged well. Yes, it looks fantastic, but as a game, there's just too many places where you get stuck and there's no indication of which way to progress. And this is a game I've already completed maybe 3-4 times on the original Game Boy, and still there's times like, oh yeah, I should have used the mirror shield, for example, to get past some flamethrower, and I completely forgot to do that, and I've spent an hour wandering around not knowing anything, or when to get the rooster and all that. So it was a bit frustrating at times, even though overall relatively positive experience with it. After finishing that, and then through April, I've now completed 19 games in 2021. So I've took a step back from the news on Old Nintendo Gamer and some of my YouTube channel, and I put all that effort of some free time into actually playing games. And I saw Black Clouds was one of those FMV, full motion video, 4-hour jobs where you get to choose certain events throughout, and you go down different routes, and I think there's about 4 different endings to watch on this. I saw one of the endings. It wasn't spectacular, usual FMV stuff. Most of the actors are not very good. There's one good standout actor. Unfortunately, it's not the main actor. It was a kind of a subsidiary character. So that was a bit of a disappointment. Bladed Fury is a 2D side-scrolling action combo-driven platformer. Was far better than I thought it was. Worth checking out if you like that kind of action beat-em-up. But that outstayed its welcome as well. What I thought could be like a 2 or 3 hour game ended up being like an 8-hour experience, and it was just a bit too long. Set in ancient China, that one, so if it's even got the Chinese right in and everybody's speaking Chinese. Good Job popped up on the Nintendo Switch Online free subscription for I think 2 weeks in Japan, which you can download it from the Japanese as long as you got one of your Nintendo subscription onlines linked to your kind of family membership, or I don't know how you do it now. I've done it so long ago. I ended up playing through Good Job fully in a week. There's 9 floors in there. And while it's thoroughly enjoyable, there's very limited kind of puzzle ideas in it, but each level does something different. Like you got to water flowers, so you use whatever you can at hand, actually. You can use a bucket and then tip over like 500 flowers on this level to water it to get past to the next level. Or you can use a hose pipe, and then there's different methods and different approaches you could do to get to your end goal. Nothing is too difficult in the game, and you can kind of fly through it in maybe 2.5-3 hours. What's quite nice, though, is that it's got that kind of Lego game split screen, which is dynamic. So the further you are away, it kind of splits the screen dynamically, and you got 2 people, and you can basically fly through some of the levels with 2 people instead of 1. That was fun, far more fun in co-op than by itself. Couple more games I'm going to mention them, but I'm not going to dwell on them at all, is Abzu, Projection First Light, Planet Alpha, and those 3 games I've enjoyed to a point. They're not wonderful games. A wonderful game I did finish, though, was Jenny LeClue Detective, which is a 2D murder mystery set in this fictional world. So there's a writer trying to finish his writing a book, and you are living in the book that he's writing. Very, very intriguing. That nearly outstayed its welcome at about 8 hours playthrough, but by the end and the last hour of the game, it kind of made up for it by how it finished. Well worth checking that out. I've played a couple of old classics like Mega Man 5 and Double Dragon 2, which haven't aged well either, especially Double Dragon 2. That was rather shonky. And the two games, I suppose, that I've liked the most, the first one is Monster Hunter Rise. I've put over 100 hours into it. My son and I are playing every day practically. We're doing at least one video a day if we've got time for Old Nintendo Gamer and Son, and it's been delightful. We've got to the point, my son, by the way, he said this morning, I put 200 hours in, so he's doubled my playtime. I've got to the point where I finished all the kind of solo village quests, which were quite relatively easy, and I suppose you can see them as a kind of tutorial to get you through the game, to learn the game systems, to learn the game weapons you like, and all that stuff. It's in the Gathering Hub, which is the multiplayer stuff, which you can do solo or online, which me and my son tend to do, like a hub of just two people, and just the both of us then will go in and hunt whatever monster. That is getting tricky now. You know, it starts off relatively easy, but we're up to HR. I'm finishing off the last couple of quests for HR 6, pushing on to HR 7. I think HR 7's the last one before the kind of, it unlocks all, you can go up to HR 999, but before the big boys start coming, and some of the beasts now are really grueling. To the point, like, if you don't get your groove and find the rhythm of beating this monster, they can flatten you in 2 hits. You know, it's getting very difficult, which is nice, because you want to be punished in this kind of game in that way. You don't want to be cakewalking it, which we have for the first 70 hours of the game. And I know that sounds like, oh my God, 70 hours has been a bit of a cakewalk. Yes, it has. But now for the last 30 hours, it's starting to challenge us. And I'm going out my way to collect very good gear to prepare myself for these quests, and still taking a 2-hit combo off a Rajang, and it's sending you carting back home. But thoroughly enjoyed my time. Yes, it's been frustrating in parts, but that's due to my inadequacies as a hunter at times, and nothing to do with the game itself. I'm just shocked at how Capcom have got this Resident Evil engine running so well on Switch. The game looks fantastic. There's never any slowdown. I mean, everything's kicking off. There's 3 monsters attacking each other. You can jump on top of the monsters now and ride them, and then crash into the other 2 monsters and fight them. You've got Morgan coming in and hitting other monsters as well, and there's just no slowdown. It all runs online perfectly. Yes, there's a little bit of lag now and again, as with all online games, but the game itself is just performing amazingly. And the fast travel system, which is amazing, because you wouldn't think of it as a Nintendo game. If I'm looking at somewhere in the distance, like if I'm standing one end of the village and I can see the Gathering Hub entrance down there, it might take me 15 seconds to walk down there. Or I could just bring up the fast travel menu, click on it, and get over there. And I mean, it loads in like half a second. So as fast as I can get the fast travel menu up, it loads in a new area of the game that fast. It's just sublime loading speeds on it as well. So very, very pleased and happy with the way Monster Hunter Rise has gone. Have any of you two played it?
Nope, just the demo.
No? Yeah. Nick, you were interested in it, but it's gone by the wayside, is it?
I think what I'm going to do is probably play Monster Hunter World first. And then maybe go to Rise later in the year or next year. But yeah, I'd really like to try World first, to be honest. Properly, yeah. Because it's free. On Game Pass.
Is it free?
Yeah.
It's on Game Pass. We'll be talking about that soon, I think. And the last game I'm going to quickly talk about is a Talos Principle, which is a full 29-part series at Old Nintendo Gamer and Son there. And I can't say enough good things about this first-person puzzler. The way that it structures its puzzles allows you to think so much outside the box. It's not rigidly stuck in, you've got to do this puzzle this way. You can think of a way around these puzzles, and some of them might be like manipulating light beams to follow a path so it hits a door which has got a light beam indicator, a receptacle. You shoot that, and then the door opens and lets you through. But there's just such a wonderful implement of fans and other implement, boxes, and there's this mechanic where you can rewind time, so you can double yourself. So you're kind of using a ghost of yourself to create platforms, and then jumping up the platforms your ghost has created to get into it. It's just by sitting and puzzling and thinking about the puzzle as you're doing it and making trial and error, problems, you shouldn't find too much difficulty in getting through the entirety of the game. It isn't that difficult. But the way it's structured, these puzzles, is wonderful. I think the only thing that lets it down is the kind of storyline ticks about are we real, are we not, is this a simulation, is this God, am I, what that kind of delve into the subconsciousness is a bit cringeworthy at times, I think, but the puzzling in it is exceptional. So that's what I've been up to for the last 2 months. If we do future podcasts, I'll deep dive into some of those and look forward to them, hopefully. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button and give us a like if you've enjoyed our content. You can also check out our other great content on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and the N-E Café podcast from all good podcast providers. Just follow the links in the description below.